If you are Gemini, this year will be not just a turnaround for you, but a real restart. Everything that you thought was stable will be questioned. Everything that you put off for later will come back with interest and a demand for an immediate solution. 2026 will not ask if you are ready. He will simply turn off the lights in the old house and leave you alone with what you have been ignoring all this time. But there is another side to this. This year, for the first time in a long time, you will be able to feel that you are not living by inertia, but by an inner call. And it all starts in January, the month when the universe literally hands you the key. Don't miss the moment, because if you don't take the first step yourself, you will be pulled by a thread, and it will be much more painful. Are you ready to find out what awaits you in each month? January 2026 will open for Gemini not with a loud start, but with silence, the same that occurs when the external noise temporarily disappears, and only the inner voice remains. Mercury, the planet governing your sign, will enter retrograde motion in the first decade of the month, and will remain in this state almost until its completion. Many perceive retrograde as a curse, as a time of mistakes, failures, and misunderstandings. But it's a chance for you. This is the moment when the universe turns off the external engines and asks you to check the navigation from the inside. Outwardly, January may seem like a long time. Delays in correspondence, misunderstandings in the team, unexpected technical failures. But it is precisely in this slowdown that the opportunity is hidden, to reconsider what you have long accepted as a given. February will come into your life almost like a contrasting shower. Mercury will come out of retrograde, and energy will abruptly switch from internal analysis to external activity. Around the middle of the month, between the 12th and 18th, you will receive an unexpected offer. It may come from a person you haven't talked to for a long time, or it may arise in a context that you considered closed. Perhaps we will talk about a change of position, participation in a new project, or even the possibility of a temporary or permanent move. At first, it will cause internal resistance. This is too harsh. I'm not ready. What if it doesn't work? But it is precisely in this resistance that the key lies. It doesn't mean that the offer is bad. It says that it takes you out of your comfort zone, which means that's where you need to go. March 2026 will be the month for Gemini when the choice will cease to be abstract and turn into a physical feeling, as if you are standing at a fork in the road, and there is a different earth under each foot. One path is familiar. You know where the stones are, where the shade is, where you can stop and catch your breath. The other one goes into the fog, but from there comes a sound that you haven't heard in years. The sound of your real desire. The point of March is not to decide which is better, but to admit that you have already decided. You've known for a long time which path is calling. You're just afraid to say it out loud, because then you won't be able to return to the I haven't chosen yet state. This internal tension is not accidental. Mars, the planet of action and will enter your first home, the sector of personal goals, identity, and a new beginning. His energy will put pressure on you not as an external circumstance, but as an internal demand. Stop hiding behind opportunities. Pick one and go. You may feel irritability, impatience, even physical restlessness, as if your body is demanding movement while your mind is still weighing the risks. But remember, Mars does not reward perfect calculations. He rewards courage. And in March, it is courage that will become your currency. April will be a logical continuation of this internal breakthrough. If you made a choice in March, even mentally, it will begin to materialize in April. Mercury and Venus will harmoniously interact in your 10th house, the sphere of career, reputation, and public image. This means that your solution will receive not only internal, but also external support. You can sign a contract that seemed unattainable, to begin training, which they did not dare to approach for a long time. Or for the first time, openly declare, with your family, at work, on social media, that you are no longer the version of yourself that you were yesterday. May 2026 will be a month of internal inhibition for Gemini, not because you have stopped, but because your body and mind require a pause. After the active start of spring, when you made difficult decisions in March and began to implement them in April, there will be a natural decline in energy. This is not a failure or a sign that you have made a mistake. This is the integration phase, the moment when the soul catches up with what the mind has already decided. You may feel as if you have squeezed everything out, as if your strength is running out, even if everything is going smoothly on the outside. Inner emptiness, irritability over small things, difficulty concentrating, all these are signals that you have been holding tension for too long, not allowing yourself a break. The nervous system and sleep patterns will be particularly vulnerable. Insomnia, shallow sleep, and disturbing dreams are all possible. Do not try to jump over this month by willpower. May doesn't require new achievements. It asks you to slow down without stopping completely. It's like a runner who doesn't quit the race, but switches to light jogging to regain his breath. Put aside everything that can be postponed. Avoid unnecessary meetings, and don't make new commitments, especially those that require emotional commitment. Instead, go back to what used to bring you peace. Walking without a purpose, books that don't develop, but simply take you away, silence in the morning or evening when you are alone with yourself. It's not a waste of time, it's an investment in sustainability. Without this pause, June may find you exhausted, unable to take advantage of what he is willing to give you. It is in June that important acquaintances are possible, not necessarily romantic, but significant. These may be people who will become allies in a new stage of your life, or just those whose presence will remind you that you are not going alone. It's a great time to travel, even for short trips, even without a clear goal. The road itself will become a therapy. Creative projects that you've been putting off as impractical will suddenly make sense and begin to bring joy. You will understand that the world has not narrowed down, as it seemed in May. It was just waiting for you to learn how to look into it again. And this return of lightness is not just an emotion. This is a cosmic signal. You are on the right track. What you started in the spring was not a mistake. It was a birth. July 2026 will be the month for the twins when the masks will fall off on their own, not because someone will tear them off, but because they will no longer hold on. Everything that you've managed to combine over the years, words and deeds, image and reality, desires and actions, will suddenly cease to match. You will feel an inner dissonance that cannot be ignored. Perhaps you will say a phrase that you used to repeat automatically. Everything is fine. I like my job. We are on the same wavelength. And in the same moment you will understand. It's not true anymore. Or someone close to you, whose tacit approval you took for granted, will say or show that they don't really believe in your power. It can happen in conversation, in writing, even in silence, but you will feel the gap. August will come as a healing ointment after the July incision. After the truth, there is action. After exposure, perestroika. It is in August that you will have the opportunity not only to recognize inconsistencies, but also to start correcting them, especially in the financial sector. Jupiter activates your second home, the sector of resources, value, and income. This can manifest itself in different ways. You will be offered a new format of cooperation. The opportunity will open to monetize a skill that you used to share for free, or you will simply realize that the old budget no longer reflects your priorities. This may be the first time you've seriously considered investing, not in a speculative sense, but as a long-term investment in something that matters to you. September 2026 will be a month of silence for Gemini, which you do not choose, but feel as a physical need. After the hot, eventful months, from the inner decisions of spring to the truth of July and the activity of August, Your psyche will require space to digest. It will feel like you've been talking, explaining, participating, glowing for too long, and now you just need to shut up. You may suddenly feel disgusted by the constant flow of information, the obligatory answers in messengers, and the need to be turned on. Don't be surprised if you want to disappear for a while, from social media, from someone else's plans, even from your own daily communication ritual. October will make adjustments, not to you, but to your environment. You will not return to communication the same way you were before September. You will come back with clear boundaries. Venus and Mars will interact in your 7th house, the sphere of partnerships and close relationships, and this will create a powerful impetus for an honest review of all relationships. You will become more selective, not out of pride, but out of self-respect. There will no longer be an automatic yes out of a sense of duty, politeness, or fear of loneliness. You will begin to notice who makes it easy for you to breathe, and who leaves you feeling empty after talking to them. And most importantly, you will stop explaining why you can no longer participate in certain interactions. You'll just stop. November 2026 will be the month of inner completion for Gemini, not in the sense of a finale, but in the sense of a climax. Everything that you launched back in February when you received that unexpected offer, everything that you chose in March, implemented in April, experienced in May, cleaned up in July and consolidated in August, will now take the form of a total. It won't necessarily be a high-profile event. It won't necessarily be an award, public recognition, or a career leap. For many Gemini, the culmination will be a quiet but undeniable realization. I've crossed the line. There is no turning back. Perhaps you will complete a project that has become a metaphor for your inner journey, or sign a document symbolizing a new chapter, a contract, a statement, an agreement. Maybe you'll finally say out loud what you've been holding inside for years, and at that moment you will feel the old shell finally peel off. December will come as a gentle sunset of this eventful year. It will not require you to make new decisions, new steps, or new commitments. He will suggest one thing: to look around. And when you do, you will be amazed not so much by what has changed in circumstances, but by how you have changed. You will remember January, the silence in which you dared to listen to yourself for the first time. Remember the fear of the proposal in February, the choice in March, and the pain of the truth in July, and you will understand that each of these moments was necessary. Not so that you can achieve something, but so that you can return to yourself. The year 2026 for Gemini is the year of inner honesty. It does not promise ease, but it gives clarity. Every month is not just a series of events, but a stepping stone to becoming who you were meant to be. Don't be afraid of change. Be afraid to stay put. Because everything that you put off today will come back tomorrow with a vengeance. Now decide. Will you wait for a sign, or will you become one yourself?